Hey everybody, final thoughts time for Periorbis, or asteroid miner as it was formerly known, but definitely Periorbis now. And I gotta say, this is a very rock solid, economic business simulation Euro type game, all about gathering resources and converting them into points while running a successful business and meeting all your financial. It just works. It works really, really well. And it's very impressed how solid it is. I mean, actually, on some levels, it kind of reminds me of Power Grid in space. With the whole notion, of course, there's no, really kind of desperate, super tight auction, but still that notion of always wanting to stay in last place if possible so that you can go first, because there is so much, this game is so much about timing and paying attention to what the other opponents are doing and trying to manipulate turn order so that you can capitalize on opportunities as they come up. Whether there's new, and potential employees that come out, whether it's new contracts you can get with the space shipping companies, or whether it's the fact that your mining operation itself is constantly, literally in motion. The fact that from round to round, from month to month, you may or may not be able to collect your resources so you can turn them into points. That's just brilliant that this game captures that sense of motion on this epic scale, on this solar system scale, as all your various mining operations slowly come in and out of range so that you can capitalize. And it creates a really wonderful amount of both short-term and planning about trying to capitalize and make sure you get stuff before your opponents get it, and you're in the right place at the right time, but also the long-term planning, knowing that, okay, in 2 turns from now, I'm going to be able to get back and collect the ore that some poor schlub has been out here generating. I got to make sure that on that turn, I'm going to have enough fleet capacity so I can bring it back all at once. I've already got this captain. This captain plus this one guy would be able to grab all those cubes in 1 turn. But my fleet capacity won't let me get them all off. And if I don't get it all back on that turn, then it'll be another 2 turns before I can get access to that asteroid again. So I've got to do the research now. But maybe if I use this engineer, I can get a discount on the technology upgrades. But I also need money. I need to sell this research for money so I can pay salaries. It's really good. There's so many things that are going on, and every time you play, predominantly based on the different order that characters will come out, you will get a different experience. Now, I can say, I do think that the game is not at its best with 2. It works. It's definitely a solid game, but you really want to have more than 2 to really be experiencing this game to full effect, because you can have multiple contracts going on at once. And heck, maybe you couldn't get a contract on the first one, but you get a contract second one. Maybe you have contracts on both ships you're trying to pursue at the same time. Can you get onto this ship before it takes off? Obviously there's spaces on these ships for 3 people to actually get in on them. And with only 2 players, Jen and I have not found that we ever go to the same asteroid. It just doesn't happen. There is enough space for 2 players to just stay very far away from each other and focus on their own little sections of the asteroid belt. Where if you have more and more players, you are going to see, well, crap, I couldn't get there first, but even though somebody else is there, this is still the best, it's still best for me to be working on Eros, because I've got the guy who can produce double off of gray, and the person who's currently there can't produce double off of gray, so it still makes sense for me to go there. And so you get a lot more interesting dynamics of the area control, for lack of a better term, with the asteroids and with the ship contracts, and with trying to hire the best personnel you can. It works at 2. It's still, I would say, it's a fun game, but while we're playing, we always think, oh man, I wish there was somebody else here, just so that all the other facets of the game could come into play. So that's something to bear in mind. Also, I'll point out, it's interesting, the game comes with rules for a short variant, where you basically, instead of playing all 12 rounds, all 12 months, you only play the first 6 rounds. And actually, when you do that, where is it? You actually have to modify the board a little bit so that asteroids are available. Yeah, you have to put, so asteroid C, which one is that? Capek, is available in round 6, which it's normally not. So, because the game's shorter. Jen and I tried, that was actually the first time we played, we tried with a shorter game, and I'll be honest, something felt a little off. It really didn't feel like the time was quite right because, this is a game of epic scale. You start out small, but by the end of the game, you are producing tons of ore and shipping a lot of stuff around because you've got a really, really kick-ass crew and you're capable of doing a lot of stuff. In the short, truncated version of the game, you never really get that opportunity to build up over time. And it's just like it's just a mad dash Scrabble just to get a few little scraps before the game is over. It's like the game is over before it starts. So really, I do think if you're going to want to play this game, you're going to want to sit down for the long haul. And this is a long game. This is a 2+ hour game. And certainly the more players are sitting down at the table, the longer it's going to be. But again, to really experiencing it, I would almost consider the short version. I wouldn't even consider it a proper way to play. Maybe you can consider it a tutorial just to learn the basics, but it doesn't feel as good as it does when you play through an entire session if you've got time. But I gotta say, it's very impressive. Really, really sharp, rock solid, interesting, tense, and exciting economic business simulation that just happens to be in space, which makes it awesome. And that's it, folks. That is Periorbis. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, as always, let me know. I have mentioned this is on Kickstarter. There's the link for it up there if you want to go check it out. I strongly suggest you, if you were turned off by the quasi-anime art and stuff like that, go check out the Kickstarter page. It's gotten a complete makeover. And you can learn particulars about whatever stretch goals. I don't know. I don't know what their ultimate plans are for additional stuff. I know. Well, anyway, you can go check out the Kickstarter link. And I'm going to stop right there. Thanks for watching, everybody. Talk to you later. So long. Bye-bye.